I absolutely love this, as a new report from an NHL insider has revealed that the New York Rangers have a golden opportunity to add one player in particular next season. We're going to break down who this player is and why this could pay off huge for the New York Rangers heading into next season. We're going to break it all down in this episode of Rangers Digest, but before we do that, a quick reminder to hit that subscribe button. About 74% of you who watch these videos are not subscribed to the channel. So if you want to stay up to date with everything that's happening with your New York Rangers, this is the place to be for all your daily New York Rangers content. So go down below, hit that free subscribe button, and you get to stay up to date with everything New York Rangers. But let's dive right into it. This has been making the rounds the last couple of days, but now we are officially linking Jonathan Toews to the New York Rangers. And of course, everybody's seen it the last couple of days. Jonathan Toews is making his return to the NHL after 2 seasons at 37 years old. He's 36. He's going to be 37 years old. And obviously he left because he was suffering from long COVID symptoms and was dealing with it his last NHL season as well, and actually put up impressive numbers in that season. We're going to break that down in a little bit, but very interesting stuff here in terms of could he work with the New York Rangers? We're going to talk about the fit as well, but in terms of Jonathan Toews, he officially reached out to his agent, Pat Brisson, yesterday, and this was 2 days ago at this point, to inform him he's 100% committed to coming back to the NHL next season. And he's been working out. He posted, his healing journey and all of that he's feeling great. He never really let himself get out of shape either. And, there's an interview with Duncan Keith as well that just came out today, where Duncan Keith was saying if anyone's going to make a return to the NHL, it's this guy, because he keeps himself in shape despite everything that's happened. And now he's working out at a level that's going to allow him to return to the NHL. And clearly, these teams are not going to sign him. The Rangers are not going to sign him if he hasn't been working out and they're just signing him off of 2 years off, right? He's been working out. He's passing the necessary tests. He's going to make a return to the NHL. And apparently he's been skating. We'll get to it very often. But anyway, leading up to July 1st, he's now fielding calls with his agent, Pat Brisson. And Toews, 37, last played in April 2023. So he's been off for 2 years, over 2 years at this point. And he's been working out the last several months to get himself ready for this comeback. And a couple months ago, again, he posted that, he's been feeling a lot better. He feels fantastic. He wants to make a return. And that's exactly what's going to happen. As you can see here from Pierre LeBrun, again, he's 100% committed to returning to the NHL next season. Now, how does this work out for the New York Rangers? Well, they could use a third-line center. Could Jonathan Toews play third-line center? I think so, because according to Ryan Whitney on Jonathan Toews, he's playing next year. He's skating every day in Arizona. He's playing. So, by all accounts, at this point, he's going to be playing in the NHL next year. He will make his return. He's going to pass all the necessary tests, and he'll probably be a very effective player, not just in terms of on ice, because again, he's not going to return to the NHL. No teams are going to sign him if he's not fit to play. He's going to be fit to play. Everything is heading in that direction. But what I think is interesting is, how effective will he be? Is he a fourth line center? Is he a third line center? The Rangers could use a third line center, especially if they keep Zibanejad and put him on second line right wing. We've been talking about that a lot. So I think it's very interesting. And again, there's a lot of teams that are linked to Jonathan Toews right now. Like, it's not just that he fits the New York Rangers, right? Like, he fits the Winnipeg Jets. You can see here the Toronto Maple Leafs. This is from Nick Alberga. So, he can fit a lot of different teams. And this is, again, from Duncan Keith. He believes that if anyone can make an NHL comeback after 2 years off, it's former Blackhawks teammate Jonathan Toews. Now, one thing I wanted to talk about in terms of Jonathan Toews, we're going to get to the stats in a second, because I have an interesting point to make in terms of his stats and how he left the NHL and what it might look like with him returning to the NHL. But one thing that Jonathan Toews brings is winning pedigree, and the New York Rangers haven't been able to win. And are they going to win a Stanley Cup next year? I'm not sure, but this team is a lot younger now. That is one thing. They've made a transition to being a much younger team. You have guys like, and I name them every single video at this point, you have guys like Brett Berard. You have guys like Brendan Othman, who just, come up to the NHL in the last year. Obviously, Gabe Perreault just signed his first, his ELC, and now he's, playing pro, whether that's in the NHL or the AHL next year. If you can bring in a guy like Jonathan Toews, and yes, you have some quote-unquote veterans on the team. Panarin's been around for a long time, played some meaningful games. Of course, you have, other guys in the lineup like Zibanejad has gone deep in the playoffs with this team. They have that experience, right? But a guy like Jonathan Toews won multiple Stanley Cups. He basically created or helped create a dynasty 10 years ago with the Chicago Blackhawks. And he brings that winning pedigree into a team into that environment. These guys can learn off of a guy like that. It's not just the on-ice stuff that he's going to bring, which I think he'll probably be great. We saw a lot of older guys sign PTOs across the league last year and then end up sitting and staying with their teams, I should say, and making an impact. Max Pacioretty is a big one. He was off for essentially 2 years as well. He made a comeback with the Toronto Maple Leafs last year and actually looked really good and was very effective for them. So I think Jonathan Toews could probably follow in those footsteps. And you know what? It's going to be a low-end deal as well. It's probably going to be league minimum. I don't see him signing maybe $1 million. Like, he's not going to garner a lot of money. He's been off for 2 years. If he wants to make a comeback, it's for the love of the game. He wants to try and win and maybe teach some young players. So I think that's exactly the best opportunity for the Rangers right here. It's not even the on-ice stuff where he can help and contribute. I feel like it's the off-ice stuff that he can help the younger guys. So I wanted to touch on that as well. And again, Winnipeg's involved. Toronto's involved. There's a lot of other teams that are involved. This is one thing I wanted to touch on too before we start to wrap up here. Jonathan Toews, in his last 5 seasons with the Blackhawks, you can see here, nothing really bothering him leading up. I mean, 2018-19 was still a phenomenal year for him. 82 games, 81 points. He starts to trail off a little bit there. Then you're going through the weird COVID years. You're in the bubble, all of that stuff. I don't even know if he played 20. I can't remember if he was injured 2021. But of course, it's really tapering off here. You can see 71 points in 37 games in 21-22. Blackhawks were not a good team. The next season, though, and I wanted to bring this up, that's when the long COVID symptoms started for him, and he started to talk about it, and he was having to take some more time off, and he missed some time. He played 53 games in that year, but he had 31 points in those 53 games dealing with all the health issues that he was dealing with. So coming back at 100%, yes, he's older now, but he's in shape. He's continued to work out. He's been skating. He's had 2 years off to get right and all of that. He's going to come back with a new appreciation, I'm sure, for the game and the love for the game. I think he can put up quite a few points here. I don't think he's going to play all 82 games. I really don't. Whoever signs him, even if the Rangers sign him, it's not going to be the type of thing where you expect him to play 82 games. But if you take a look at the lineup, and again, I think that's somewhat impressive. His last season, he was dealing with all that. He had 31 points in 53 games on a bad team too, by the way. A really bad team. Let's keep that in mind. But something else I wanted to bring up is this quote from Jonathan Toews. And he said, "I just remember how poorly I felt when I was finishing my last year in Chicago. Now I go out on the ice and it's a new sense of energy and lightness, and I'm just really excited to be out there. I was just remembering how much I was battling through every day, and now it's a whole different story. That the contrast is really motivating and really exciting for me. I really do feel like I've done the work and I'm in a different place. It's just a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to every time I get to go out on the ice right now, and that's a really good feeling." So he's going to make his return, I believe, to the NHL. When you take a look at this lineup, like I mentioned, if you move Zibanejad over to second line right wing where he played with Miller for a lot of this season once Miller got traded over, JT Miller, they were really good together. So if you move him up there, you get Jonathan Toews in here, you keep Sam Carrick at fourth line center, you got Jonathan Toews third line center. That's pretty good. That's a good, solid center core there. So I think that is a very good option for the New York Rangers and something they should take a look at because, again, it's not going to cost too much of your salary cap. And, when we're talking about the salary cap, the Rangers have not that much heading into next season. They have to make some decisions here. But let me know in the comments what you think about Jonathan Toews. I'm going to have another video on some other free agents that the Rangers could go after, including Aaron Ekblad, so stay tuned for that as well. But again, let me know in the comments how you feel about Jonathan Toews. Would you add him to the Rangers lineup? I think it would be a good move. Honestly, whoever ends up signing him, I think it's going to be a very low risk, high reward type of signing. And if it doesn't work out, it's not like he's going to be making $10 million or anything like that. So I think it's a really good option for the Rangers and something they should take a look at. And I know a lot of people are going to go, why are we getting older and slower? I'm not saying to fill the lineup with Jonathan Toews in every position. If you came in and played third line center, I think it would complement the team very, very well on and off the ice. But let me know what you think in the comments. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with everything New York Rangers.